Hello and welcome to another episode of eScoot Talks. In this episode, we're going to be talking about electric scooter safety and how to ride your electric scooter and avoid crashing or getting injured in any way. I'm probably not going to again, cover everything in this episode. There's probably going to be another episode regarding this topic, but I'm going to at least try to give you at least some basics and try not to make this video too long. So while I'm talking about this topic, in the background you can actually see footage that I made last weekend when I went for a spin with my friend Oliver. We went to Bray and back, just for a bit of a fun. And at least you can see now new separated cycle lanes in Dublin that are in some way great, but in some other way they can actually be really, really dangerous. I'm gonna let you watch the footage a little bit yourself and try and spot actually what's dangerous in these cycle lanes, and I'm gonna come back to that a little bit later. So, okay, you got your first electric scooter, brand new, just arrived, you took it out of the box and you just want to go for a spin. You just want to try it, Or it doesn't matter, you bought a second-hand scooter and you just want to try it as quick as possible. Before you even get out of your house with the scooter on the road, first thing to check your all nuts and bolts and, literally everything on the scooter, just to make sure that everything is properly tight. Because no matter if you got a second-hand scooter or a new scooter, like my Evolve King GT came brand new out of the box with some bolts loose and no tread locks on some of them. And I was actually quite shocked that the scooter with that price tag came with such a bad quality control. But okay, hopefully that's gonna change in the future, and hopefully guys are gonna improve their quality check control. Now, when you did check all that, check your brakes, check your tire pressure, and then you can go in front of your house and double check those brakes just at the lower speeds and slowly start building up. But probably the best place to do your first kilometers would be some kind of a parking lot. Like that's the place I would definitely go first, and not just for 5 minutes. I would go there and give it a day or two, fully drain the battery, do as much as possible mileage you can do on a single charge on that scooter, and then slowly start to get to know that vehicle and build your confidence before you go out there on a road where there's other traffic included. Because you don't want to be in a situation where you just step on your first scooter, you're a couple of minutes on a scooter, and then you get some lorry or a bus or even a car overtaking you quite closely, and you panic and you fell and you injure yourself. You don't need that. And especially in Dublin with all those really narrow roads, sometimes there's just not too much space for a car to overtake you at a wider distance. Now, after a couple of days, as I said, on a road, and just one thing, don't buy as your first scooter, I know, Kuga M4, M4 Pro, or anything that's faster than 20-25 kilometers per hour. As a first-time user, go for something slower. Learn that vehicle, how it works, and then go for something faster. When you get used to it, when you get to know, just because there are different types of vehicles. There's something that you're probably not used to, and I'm pretty sure lots of us used even push scooter quite a long time ago last time. Now, when also, if you got a second-hand scooter, before going out on the road, check your tires. Check that they're not bald, especially if you're going to be riding in a rainy weather. That at least here in Ireland, we get that quite a lot. Now, okay, so you checked all that, everything is fine, you're going there on a road, make sure that you're actually quite visible there. Because besides riding electric scooters, I also drive a car, I drive a motorbike, and like for example, when I'm on my bike, okay, and especially if it's dark and it's raining, my visibility is quite low because there are lots of raindrops on my visor, there's lots of raindrops on my mirrors, and then, you know, for example, you have a, you know, pitch dark night, and like especially now wintertime here in Ireland, you know, it's getting dark after 4 p.m. And then you have, like, that's one of the worst things that I can see on the road is someone fully in black outfit with no high-vis vest and no lights on a scooter. Like, it's so hard and difficult to spot you guys there on the street that I can't explain you. And especially in a car, like, you know, some cars still have a problem with the windscreens fogging and things like that. So like you're literally really playing it out there, you know. You're literally risking getting injured, getting hit by a car or a bike or someone else, you know. Then some other things that I would recommend, so, you know, of course, helmet and some extra lights. It would be really good to have an extra light on the back of your helmet, and even if possible on the front side of your helmet or even on the handlebars. And especially if you're riding a Zero scooter or Kuga M4, M4 Pro that are quite popular, headlight is not there just for you to see, it's also for you to be visible, you know, and those lights are actually quite low. So it's quite handy to have something a bit higher, especially when you're going in between cars. It's really hard to spot you because of that car, and then, you know, head is probably one of the first thing that's going to pop out, and it's going to be easier to spot the tail light on your helmet than on a rear mudguard of your scooter that is actually really low there on the ground, you know. Now try and stay in the cycle lanes, but also, as you can see here on this footage, there are actually quite lots of leaves there. And then also, if it's raining, that can be extremely slippery. So if it's raining, I would actually, like, I'm always driving much slower if road is wet, and especially with those leaves. And that's the thing that I was saying actually earlier. Like, it is really great that we see that now those cycle lanes being separated from all the other road users, but with all those leaves, and like we are actually now already on a different part of the road where those barriers are still not put in place, but you can go back in the video and you can see at some places, and that was actually 2 weeks ago, I went down the same cycle lane, and there were so many leaves. At some places there were like 4, 5, 6 inches of leaves all across the cycle lane, from the curb to that barrier. And if you're new on that road, and if you don't know that there are only, you know, that there are those barriers put there in place, you actually wouldn't be able even to see it, and you can hit that barrier, lose a balance, fall and injure yourself. So there is someone from Dublin City Council looking at this video, guys, like, you know, just try and make sure that someone, you know, starts cleaning this, because this is really extremely dangerous. Like, we can talk about how scooters are dangerous, but, like, you know, those cycle lanes are also super dangerous, not just for scooters, for cyclists and everybody else, you know. Also, one other thing that would be great that I would recommend everybody to get is some kind of an action camera. I'm gonna say GoPro because I'm using 3 GoPros because they have a quite really good image quality. Because, like, what's the point of having even footage of some accident or some really tricky situation if that's all pixelized because the image sensor is just bad on your camera? And I'm also telling you that because like only last week there was a 011X stolen in Dublin, and that's already a second 011X that's been stolen. There was another one stolen a while ago, and I heard about lots of cases of electric scooters being stolen. So if you have a camera, there are at least less chances that someone, it might turn someone down who maybe wants to rob a scooter from you. So it can even be quite helpful in that situation. And that's kind of like, as I said, I don't want to make this episode too long. I want to just give you some basics. So make sure that you're visible out there. If there are really bad weather conditions, slow down and come home maybe a bit later, or to work a bit later, but at least safe. Because, well, like my friend Shane, he was in a crash and he was in a hospital quite a while, and his recovery was quite long, and he still has consequences from that crash. I have a friend, she was in an accident only 2 weeks ago, and she was in an accident because she came on a slippery leaf and lost the balance, fell, cracked her knee. She got the plate and screws in her knee, and she's now out of work, for at least probably 2 or 3 months. Hopefully there's not going to be any long-term consequences, but it's just something that you don't know, especially like if you just, if you came here, if you're renting here and everything. So like day in hospital is 80 quid. As I said, 10 days, 800 euros hospital bill. And then on top of that, you're out of work and everything. If you need to pay your rent, just think about it like, it's much, much more expensive than some safety equipment. And just to slow down and get to your destination safely, okay? So yeah, that's kind of all for this episode for now. As I said, I don't want to make it too long. I will probably make another episode regarding this. Uh, so guys, I hope you like this video. If you like the content I'm doing, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. As I said, if you like particularly this video or any of my other videos, please like them. If you think that they might be useful to some of your friends or someone else, make sure to share them with others. And I'm going to try and bring you more interesting content as soon as possible. And until then, guys, stay safe out there. Mind yourself, mind other road users. Don't go too crazy, zipping in between cars, because you're really not visible that easily. And slow down in pedestrian zones. You don't want to hit someone else, okay? Be example for other road users, okay? Thank you very much, guys. Enjoy. Bye-bye.